What's up, everybody? Welcome to another stream of Latin Explaining with Denise. I'm so happy to be here, guys. I know it's been crazy. Like I said this at the beginning of this week. I'm working on odd hours right now. So, of course, the show is going to get a new schedule. And I just want to make a quick announcement regarding that. And that is that the show will now start airing more on the weekends. I'm still working on what specific hour because I've seen that a lot of people are like, oh, it's too early. I'm here, I'm there, I'm busy, and whatnot. So everybody's used to me being on Mondays and Thursdays, sometimes on even Fridays, but not like at this hour. So of course, I'm going to be working on um, the schedule. So far, Sundays is set. It's going to be at 3:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hi, Ramon. I'm glad you could make it a little bit. I know you're busy and you're working. I am so sorry, but I'm glad you're here. I want to welcome Jose, Melanated Night, and everybody that started the chat already. Thank you very much. And also all the people that will catch this on the replay. Thank you for allowing me into your homes on the weekend. And I know a lot of people are cleaning because we're Latinos, and you know that if you're Latino, los fines de semana son para limpiar la casa. Así que let's just start today's show. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let's get this show started. To the next level. And speaking of things that are out of place, things that are changing a lot, including Latin explaining schedule that is all whack, something else is more whack than Latin explaining schedule, and that is the inflation costs in America. I don't know if you guys have noticed, like I said on, I think it was Monday stream when we were talking about the price of your stimulus checks. Um, I was definitely touching a little bit, just scratching the surface on what's going on with the inflation and all this stuff. And basically, there was a report yesterday on national TV that was basically informing Americans of the inflation. And basically, for food inflation on ground beef has gone up 10.8%. Bacon has gone up 19.3%. Eggs have gone up 12.6%. Apples, an apple, it's 7.8 more expensive versus September 2020. Now, when it comes to overall inflation, regular gas is 43.3% higher. And trust me, we live in California. And if you live in California, just like I do, you know that there are, look, I just saw, like I reported on this, I think last week. I just saw a place yesterday close to Santa Ana that was almost $6 a gallon for regular gas. This is insane. And as a result, obviously, electricity is 5.2% up. Used vehicles are 24.4% more expensive. Hotels are 19.8% more expensive. And apparel, clothes, are 3.4% more expensive. And just like I said on my Instagram, I said, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Actions have consequences. And this is more proof of what happens when we make choices that will impact every person in this nation based solely on our emotions. Probably that's why many more are now trying to vote Republican. I don't know if you guys saw that a lot of Republicans that were not even good politicians, in my opinion. I have been wanting in Virginia. I don't know if it was in Kentucky. There was several places where they won. And I said, and while all of this is happening, the president is focused on keeping us arguing about the jab and printing more money for big corporations through a 1 trillion infrastructure bill that was just passed. And this is what I always touch on, the fact that the media, is constantly in cahoots with what's happening with our government officials, and is obviously always distracting us from what really is happening, while they distract you with arguing with the vaccinated and the anti-vax, which I don't think there's nobody anti-vaccination. I just feel like there's people that don't want to get vaccinated, period. So while we're arguing about who's getting medicine and who's not, they're slipping behind us or underneath the table trillions of dollars that are not going, you're not going to see them, because in the infrastructure bill there's a lot of things that we needed to happen that never did. For example, it's time to raise the minimum wage. With all of this inflation, the minimum wage of $7 freaking is not going to cut it. It's just not. The last time there was an inflation, the minimum wage didn't raise accordingly. So of course now people are feeling it more. Now, because everything is quote unquote on shortage because of the C-19 lockdowns, pandemic, and whatnot, a lot of things are more expensive. And also because we explained on the past stream that I made regarding the stimulus checks, I explained to you guys how the value of the dollar depreciates every time the government that loves to spend money keeps printing money and swiping the unlimited platinum uh, government credit card that's basically taxpayers' money. So of course, with the dollar shrinking and goods being more expensive because they're in short supply and there's a lot of demand, we are in a perfect storm for financial crunch or financial depression. So this is just another proof of, and I hate to say it because a lot of people hated me because I supported the Shito, and not to be messed up. I'm neither Republican or Democrat. I just vote for whatever I think out of what we're seeing will be the most coherent option. But the Shito said, the Shito being Donald Trump, of course, we all have to throw a little joke here and there. But Donald Trump basically predicted this on his debates with Joe Biden. And he even said it, even your 401ks will go to shit. And we're seeing right now that we have less and less money in our wallets, less and less money in investments, less and less money in everything, to the point that even if you invest in the stock market today, the president wants you to pay capital gains on it, even if you haven't withdraw the money from the stock market. That means, for example, let's say today you put in your portfolio, you're putting $10,000 that you saved and you're investing in the stock market, and that $10,000 makes turns into $24,000. That's just an estimate, right? Very volatile and unrealistic. But let's say you make $24,000 and you're like, no, I'm gonna leave it there for like 10 years or so. You have to pay taxes on those gains. You have to pay taxes. From where you're going to get the taxes for that? To be honest with you, it is so insane what we're seeing, and that's what I mean when a lot of people are like, oh, like, we can't vote the Cheeto in. Look at what's happening here, like his racist, blah 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 blah. And trust me, I'm going to be doing a stream solely on if America is racist today, and what things I think are racism and what things I think is just people not taking accountability for shit. Because of course we do know there is racism in this country. There's racism in the world, but there's a lot of things that are just not racism. I see that Jose says, be careful, Denise, you'll be accused of being part of the MAGA crowd. Well, I have been accused of being a Trumper, a bootlicker, a whorephobic, um, fat phobic, even though I'm fat myself, transphobic, everything. I've been accused of so many things. Like being accused of being part of the MAGA crowd won't surprise me, but it is what it is. It's basically the truth. So to be honest with you, I'm not surprised that these things keep on happening. And another thing that I want to touch on regarding news is basically, the same thing that we've been seeing. And basically this time goes to the past administration of the Shito. We know now, ABC reported this week that at least 18 billionaires received stimulus checks from the CARES Act last year. We don't know yet if they received the HEROES Act. So let's just put it right there. Like they probably did, and we just have to go with it. But I posted, why am I not surprised about this? We knew the CARES Act was to give them money anyways. Not surprised at all. And the reason why you might think, how did they even receive a check easily? The checks were not necessarily based on the amount of wealth that you had, they were based on income. So a lot of these billionaires and corporations wrote off so many losses last year due to closures, shortage, a lot of things. So even when they had to close down, so when they put their profits on their tax returns and stuff, it started becoming negative income or sometimes very little bit of income. So when that happened, that qualified them for a stimulus check. And that's how you have George Soros and his kid receiving a stimulus check. We have a lot of people that have billions of dollars that didn't need it, the lousy $1,200, cashing these checks. Well, a lot of Americans starve and whatnot, but in reality, we all know that this is not new. We're not necessarily foreign to the notion that, this country works for people that have money. We saw it even with the HEROES Act. Like, if you think this is just one party, both parties suck. In the words of Tim Black, which I'm a huge fan of, um, both parties suck, Johnson. Just like he says it all the time. Both parties sucks. Now, guys, get the likes up. Just like Melanated Knight says, get the likes up as you're coming in. But definitely, to be honest with you, I'm not surprised at all that this is happening. More investigations are happening. And the worst part about this is that there's nothing that can be freaking done. There's absolutely nothing that can be done because that's what the law said. It was based solely on income, not wealth, which is insane. You could have had 3 million in the bank, and if you didn't make any money in 2020, you could get the CARES Act. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. It's just, and speaking of insane, one thing I would say, oh, mi Puerto Rico, de Puertorricense, de Papichi. Alex Trujillo has been released because he has been pleading. Okay, if you guys don't know who Alex Trujillo is, Alex Trujillo was basically a notorious murderer and drug lord, like a kingpin in Puerto Rico that killed so many people. So many people in the 90s, so many people in the early 2000s. And to be honest with you, that's how he even gained the name Alex Trujillo. And he has been pleading for a while, I think over 10 years now, that he found Christianity, that his life has changed, that he is sorry for all the things that he did. And can you guys believe that he met all the conditions to be released on parole and released into the world? And he only has to complete his sentence until 2024 under surveillance, and he will be, it could be your neighbor if you live in Puerto Rico, which is something that's complete. If the stimulus checks being received by billionaires was not crazy enough, this might cut it. It's just insane. I just can't believe it. Like I said, it's this reminds me of the time when Ricky Rosselló wanted to pardon the dude that did the massacre in Guaynabo that killed a whole family. He killed the mom, the dad, the grandma, the 15-year-old, and the kid that was celebrating his 10-year-old birthday had to escape and run, and he was the only witness. And they even tried to kill him. And Ricky Rosselló was like, "Oh yeah, let's just put them out." I'm like, "What?" This has to be even worse. And it always happens under the PNP's party, under the new progressive party in Puerto Rico. It always happens under their ruling. I don't even know why they want to keep releasing criminal people that clearly don't know how to function in society. Like, oh, you found God. This is the classic I bendito. Who cares if he found God? Find God, that's fine. You found God, but you still have to pay consequences. Even if I don't abide by Christianity, but even in Christianity, I'm very fully aware, being born and raised in it, that you can't just all be forgiven on earth and all the laws that we have here because you're a Christian now. You might be a Christian, but according even to the Bible, you have to pay your consequences. Come on now. Like, I don't understand what's the problem, but to be honest with you, I'm semi nervous. I don't even know why this is happening. Brace for impact, Puerto Ricans. Brace for impact. That's all I can say. And trust me, guys, there's more news that I want to share. I'm going to share more of the news on the Puerto Ricenses tomorrow. Uh, but that has been all for news today. Let me know what you guys think about this thing, this crazy things happening, the infrastructure bill. We're gonna talk some more about it tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. So make sure you tune in. If you miss things, just like I missed my alarm this morning, for the first time in months, uh just put the notifications, change them to all, so every time I go live, you don't have to even remember the time, you'll be notified. But definitely tomorrow we're going to touch on that infrastructure bill, because oh lord, there's a lot of things to touch on that. There's a lot of things. Hi JS. Cultural Castizo said, sounds like sanctuary cities, though. We all live next to criminal offenders here in Queens, New York. Child and drugs smugglers, prostitutes, and pimps. Thank to Democrats. Sorry. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. The same thing is happening here, to be honest with you, in California. In California now, you can steal up to $700 and not go to jail. It's a misdemeanor. Imagine being a business owner and you just put new merch in your store, and here comes a fucker and like grabs 700 or $600 of your merch and walks away. And a lot of things, even grape offenders and sex offenders now can't walk out, because we're basically decriminalizing the wrong things. And I'm like, you're decriminalizing actual assaults on people that will impact directly our social interactions in the world. But somehow you always skip all the convictions based on drugs. I'd rather have people that sell drugs on the streets, like marijuana, than having a sex offender or having a thief on the streets. Like, let's just make that clear. There's people in California still today, and it has been legal since 1996. Still today, we have people doing time for marijuana in the state of California, thanks to Kamala Harris. So, like I said, this is only brace for impact. Brace for, if you live in a, and I'm sorry to if I come out as right winger, you can call me whatever. I'm more centric and realistic. um if you live in a democratic run city or state, brace for freaking impact, because these people are running your state to the ground. And I feel so bad. I feel so freaking bad. But guys, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Like I said, tomorrow we're going to discuss the infrastructure bill, and many other things are happening. But let's just keep the show going. Well, I'm sure that if you woke up this morning, you know that there is some sinister, crazy, modern era rock and roll type of concert drama going on the streets. And what am I talking about? In case you have not heard and you just woke up late, or you were cleaning the house and you were off social media, Astro World is giving us the goosebumps. And to be honest with you, there has been a series of concerts that Travis Scott with his Astro Fest is bringing to the city of Houston. The calendar says that it was supposedly from the 2nd all the way to November 8th. There were going to be a different series of Astrofest happening in the United States. And to be honest with you, last night there was a brawl that started up, and 8 people died. 8 young people died, and a lot of people passed out. A lot of people had panic attacks. A lot of people had, um, they were in cardiac arrest, and it's just insane. And to be honest with you, this reminds me of, uh, the old rock and roll concerts that your parents will never let you go, and stuff like that. Even sometimes super huge venues where people would pass out. Well, apparently a lot of people were pushing forward, a lot of people passed out. And to be honest with you, I even saw how people entered the Astrofest, and they literally ran over the fence. And there is something about, I don't know why, there is something about Travis Scott's fans that I don't like. I don't. Culturally Castizo says children died at that concert. Pure demonic. I'm sure there were all types of drugs, lean and screaming. Absolutely. And he said puros locos. Absolutely. Crazy people. I'm like, to be honest with you, like there's something about Travis Scott. I personally, I hate Travis Scott's music. I don't hate him, but I don't even know why this dude is even famous. I'm like, I don't like his music. The only song that I can remember is because a lot of people played it was Goosebumps. Other than that, the only thing I know Travis Scott for is for Stormy. Other than that, like I really don't like this dude at all. So as if that wasn't enough, he had to cancel the rest of his shows for the Astrofest because of this. And you might think that the only cause of this was drugs. Yes, I think drugs, in my opinion, play like a huge part. But also, there was some reactions that I posted this morning, and this lady in particular caught my attention. She said, this is capitalism at its finest. They overbooked the venue. The black market has to make its money off the crowd so bad. Pills are being sold through the festival. I understand seeing it on spiritual level, but this is pure capitalism. And there's a few videos that I want you guys to see. And I'm going to advise, my channel is not for children. You have to be 21 years or older to actually watch. The images that I'm going to display are going to be graphic. So if you have children watching this show, please be advised that these images are going to be graphic and are not for children. With that being said, let's continue. This apparently.
Dead tonight. Like it just felt like we was like literally like in fucking hell, bro. Like it felt like we was in a concert in hell. You couldn't breathe, you couldn't see. Like just imagine all the people they gonna find tonight who was in that crowd, who nobody could see, who nobody could hear, who passed out, and everybody was just trampling on top of them the whole fucking concert. Like I'm thinking it's probably gonna be like at least 100 people who dead tonight. Like I kid you not. Like in the VIP section, it was so many bodies laid out. People was getting pulled out who was fainted, and the people were trying, the medics were trying to give them CPR, and they was flipping them over, and like they was literally turning black and blue. Like I never seen death in my fucking life, bro. Just by me alone, it was probably like 10 fucking people laid out dead. And like once the medics tried to help them, they wasn't responding. They moved to the next person. It was nothing they could have do. Like this shit really fucked me up and like really spooked me tonight. Like that was like some demonic shit. Like, and what was so crazy, like people were screaming help dead tonight. Like it just felt like we was like literally like in fucking hell, bro.
Now, I'm gonna read some of the commentary. I see that Ramon says those concerts apparently are so lit they're giving people heart attacks. Absolutely. Culturally Castizo says Travis not Cactus Jack meal at McDonald's didn't kill enough people, so he had to throw a festival to get them to kill each other. Talk about Hunger Games. Yeah, absolutely. I'm like, this is some, oh my god. I'm thinking of writing a novel, but I'm not going to disclose it publicly until I actually start doing it. I'm not a writer. It's probably going to suck. But I have a theory that can explain all this madness. Don't worry, I got y'all. But there was actually a nurse that attended the concert, and she literally narrated her experience. And I want you guys to hear clearly what she said. She basically said, I just left the Astroworld Festival. And let me say this as someone who has been to every Astrofest there's been. This was completely different. It was awful. I passed out because people were pushing up against me so much that I couldn't breathe. Sam got people apparently crowd surf my unconscious body to the security guard, and I got carried to a little section behind GA and put down on a stool thing. When I woke up, I had a water bottle in my lap and had no clue of what had happened. When I stood up, I looked around and people were getting carried out with eyes rolling back into their heads by security, bleeding from their nose and their mouth. I yelled, has anybody checked a pulse? The security guard, frantic, asked me to help him. I checked two people and one did not have a pulse. I told them I was an ICU nurse, and then another security guard, hearing that I said that, said, please come and help us. Imagine being a security guard at this event. You clearly only have training for so much. Security guards only train for like massive events, evacuation, uh, terrorism threats or security threats and whatnot. They are not trained for rescuing your life or performing CPR properly. That is a very extensive training because you can crack ribs, you can puncture a lung, you can do it improperly, you don't know how to clear the blockage for someone to actually get air, you don't know what to do. And she continues saying, he takes me to the part of the crowd behind GA where I see three bodies sprawled out and people who I assume were medics slash medical staff doing CPR. I immediately see that there is not enough medics for this, so I relieve one medic of CPR. I ask where the ambubag is, where the AED is, where the stretcher is, and the ambulances are. Where TF any shed is, and they said essentially there is none. There's one ambu bag, one stretcher, and one AED for three, now four people who are pulseless and blue. People from the crowd were trying to help. Teenagers are doing CPR trying to help, but they're doing it incorrectly. Then I see there's other people doing CPR on people who still have a pulse because nobody has done a pulse check, which is the first thing you should do. You always check for pulse before you touch a body. It was an absolute shit show. I lost Sam for I don't even know how long, but for the remainder of the concert, I was doing compressions, bagging, and helping move people to stretchers and checking pulses on new bodies as they got crowd surfed to where we were. People were trampled, crushed. There was no cell service to call for more help. People were begging the crew operating the stage, lights, and stuff around us to stop the concert, and they would not. I am so disappointed and sad. Finally, cops showed up with more stretchers and started getting people out. But I know at least two individuals had been postless for at least 15 minutes minimum before they got on a stretcher. And that goes to show that a lot of people, I'm sorry, because this show is going to be about the police and you guys know it. A lot of people hate on the police, and I'm not taking away from the fact that there is a sector in the force that it is the way they are and whatnot. But to be honest with you, when everything goes to shit, who do you call? Who can you rely on when everything else fails you? Now I'm gonna read some of the comments. Colt Castillo says, "I'm sure the promoters and sponsors of this event will use the behavior of the teenagers to justify them dying at the concerts. Adults won't take responsibility, nor Travis." What he said on Twitter. Well, apparently his staff, not even him, it was his staff that released a statement. I didn't have time to upload it because it happened just so fast, but the statement read as this. If you want to find it, you can go to Astro World Fest. Let me see if I can find it. I can pull it for you guys instead of reading it from here, so you guys can actually see like how this is going. It's literally not going in a good direction. But you guys will see what's going on, because Travis Scott has been MIA, radio silent with crickets and stuff. But Astro World Fest said, "Our hearts are with the Astro World Festival families tonight, especially those we lost and their loved ones. We are focused on supporting local officials however we can. With that in mind, the festival will no longer be held on Saturday." As authorities mentioned in their press conference earlier, they are looking into the series of cardiac arrests that took place. If you have any relevant information on this, please reach out to Houston Police. Thank you to our partners at the Houston Police Department, Fire Department, and NRG Park for the response and support. Like I said, a lot of people be dissing on police for many things, but at the end of the day, who do you call when everybody else fails you? And this is just to like, there's so many things to unpack here. Like, first of all, we know for a fact that it's all fun and games until shit gets real. It's like that saying that we all now make fun of it, that Mike Tyson used to say, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. Everybody thought they were going to be safe. Everybody thought, let's keep wilding, popping up pills, doing drugs and whatnot, instead of just being working on a Friday night like the rest of us. No, let's go to a festival to get drugged and get lit and enjoy the music and whatnot. And this is what happened. And let me tell you something. You support Travis Scott, but he didn't support your life. He didn't support your health. He didn't care. Travis Scott did not pass out. He did not died. He did not have any cardiac arrest. He was not even aware that this was happening. He continued the concert as if people were just waving at him. And a lot of people, there were 50,000 souls in that concert. A lot of people were waving at him and the staff to actually beg them to stop, and they continued. There's a lot of videos. If you go on Twitter, the videos are unlimited. There's a lot of videos of people that actually, were begging the staff to stop the concert, stop the concert. Nothing happened. So, and this is not the first time that we have had a security issue on one of Travis Scott concert. You guys know this is a history, a series of events that usually happens, and it's if the comment, because you can go to a Beyonce concert, you can go to Kanye West concert, you can go to freaking Post Malone concert, the Weekend concert. This shit don't happen, but every time Travis Scott is on stage, this happens. What's the only common factor that all these events have? Travis Scott. It's time to, demote these people. G9 Haiti says the only person that could have stopped that demonic venue was Satan himself. Absolutely. Absolutely. That was Oh my God. Like I said, this dude's got to go. He has to go. He gave all of us the goosebumps. All of us. I'm pretty sure. And I'm sorry that, I'm not joking about the death. I am not. I am so sorry that teenagers died, that young people died, that, you went out to have fun and this happened. I am so sorry, genuinely sorry. But to be honest with you, this is why, first of all, imagine even getting the vaccine to go to this event. Just imagine. Just imagine. Oh my God. I cannot believe this. This is insane. Absolutely insane. I cannot believe it. But to be honest with you, I hope that this serves as, a learning experience for a lot of people. And actually, we can get our lives straight, I'm sorry, and just start judging events. It's an event that we know Travis Scott is notorious for having these types of events because they don't regulate a lot of the drugs that are sold in these concerts, and he oversells venues a lot. Because I'm gonna drift away a little bit from the situation per se, but in music, after the digital era and the streaming services have taken over, the only way where artists pocket the money for themselves before they have to pay everybody else is through shows, through live shows. So of course you're gonna overbook the venue just to have like a crowd of people, and this is the result. This is the result. And when you don't have the proper security, you guys just saw it. He didn't even have. You're supposed to have one ambulance per 1,000 people. There were supposed to be 50 ambulances there. He was supposed to have a specific amount of EMTs over there. And I know this because I've organized and worked for people that worked in entertainment for many, many events. You're supposed to have many different people per 1,000 people that are attending your venue. The same with fire. Where was the fire department? Where was the fire department? If you and me were to start a business or start singing mariachi on the plaza, you will have to get a permit from the fire department, and you will have to have the fire department there. You will have to have a freaking insurance of over $1 million. You will have to have EMTs for enough attendees, and you will have to have an ambulance per 1,000 attendees. I don't even know why this is happening. This is like I said, it was hell. Now, aside from Travis Scott, let's just move into something um more less gruesome, and it's something that makes me excited because I am a fan. And in case you don't know her, I know I am old, I'm 34 years old, but I grew up with this lady, Ana Gabriel, the legendary Mexican singer of Quien Como Tu and many other songs, has officially received her Hollywood Walk of Fame star, and it's well deserved. Like Ana Gabriel, I think, and I'm sorry, Mexicans, don't come for me, please. But I'm going to say this. I get it. Selena was an amazing singer. We lost her too freaking young. Screw Yolanda Saldivar. I get it. But in my opinion, growing up listening to Ana Gabriel's music, um, to be honest with you, I think that because we focus so much on Selena, like a lot of the attention drifted away from people like Ana Gabriel. She's one of the most uh undervalued. I think not even undervalued. It was like underrated singers, ladies from Mexico. A lot of people praise Ana Barbara. I personally think Ana Barbara has an amazing voice. I personally don't like her music, but I love Ana Gabriel's music. Like, I'm not, don't get me even started. Okay. And I am so excited that she got her start. Yes, I am going to go up there. I'm going to take a picture. Uh, I'm not going to do anything else because it's gross. You guys know that Hollywood, it's like, ugh, disgusting, with a lot of homeless pee on the street. So of course, but I will go there and take a picture because this is like a dream come true. Like if you grew up listening to Ana Gabriel and all of her songs and all of it, oh my God, and going through heartbreak and falling in love through her music, you definitely want to go to the Hollywood Walk of Fame and just, take a picture. Take a picture with the star. Don't kiss it, don't touch it. Just, oh my God. Culturally Castizo says Javier Solis was a Mexican singer who sang the famous Mi Querido San Juan, my Boricua grandmother's favorite song. Oh, and Mi Viejo San Juan. Yeah, that's one of. I was even talking to Ramon the other day about that song. We are living proof of that song. En Mi Viejo San Juan. You plan to go back to Puerto Rico, but it always something keeps you away. But to be honest with you, going back to Ana Gabriel, well deserved. I am excited. Go visit her star, take pictures, tag me on it if you want to, because like I said, I am a huge fan of Ana Gabriel, and I'll probably play some of her music while I do dishes later, during dinner time. We'll see. But guys, that has been all for music today. And to be honest with you, like I said, I am so sorry for the families that lost their loved one, that just wanted to go and uh you know listen to Anna, I mean Anna Gabriel, to Travis Scott and enjoy the concert. It's very sad. I am very sad that this happened, but the show must go on, and so does Latin explaining. Oh Lord! Today on I've never pre-reported anything in my life, but I'm gonna start today. I'm gonna say something. If you follow me on Instagram, you guys know every Saturday, me and Melanated and I do fight night. We watch every event of mixed martial arts or boxing. That is just something we do, and we enjoy it a lot. Do not text me, don't DM me. Uh, just don't. Tonight it's a night that's going to be explosive, and you might ask yourself, if you're not in touch with what's happening, boy, I don't know where you have been living under, but there is a lot of things happening tonight. And you guys know I am a huge Canelo Alvarez fan. So tonight, Canelo faces one of his, as he says, one of the most important fights of his life. Simply because, not because I believe Plant is all that amazing. I'm going to park myself here a little bit, okay? I see that Cultural Castiza said, simplemente amigos, is a song you play on a Saturday while you're mopping the floor, cleaning your house. Absolutely. And you're like, amigos, simplemente amigos. Oh my God, don't get me started with Ana Gabriel, okay? Just don't. But going back to Canelo, okay? Today we have two major events, and a lot of people are gonna fight, okay? A lot of people. Tonight is gonna be a fight night, like legit a fight night. Like we're gonna have a major UFC event, and we're gonna have a major boxing event. And I'm gonna start with the boxing event. Um, Canelo versus Plant. And I'm gonna say this. This is one of the most important fights that Canelo is gonna fight. Like out of the last three fights that he has had, this is one of the most important, obviously, because he will acquire another belt, and he will unify the belts. And that's something that in history, in modern history, has not been done, especially in his weight. Now, one thing I will say is that my money is still on Canelo Alvarez. However, I think if you are a boxing fan, even if you're not a boxing fan, this fight you don't want to freaking miss. And if you miss it, tomorrow I'll talk about it. But let me tell you something. You don't want to miss this fight because we all walk in here thinking, hey, it's Canelo. He's invincible. He's like this Mexican Superman mixed with Captain Mexico at the same time and a boxer, all wrapped in one and going out and knocking these dudes out. He's super strong. He's at the peak of his career where his mind has already get in tune with his body because he's in his early 30s. So he's still in his prime, killing it out there, making, adding his name to boxing royalty for history. And we were all like, oh yeah, he's gonna go in there. Who the hell is Plant? Like, he's not even important and whatnot. But let me tell you something. After watching Plant's story, uh this kid has been trained by his own father, and he came literally out of nowhere. And one of the issues that most of his contenders face is that they underestimate him a lot. A lot of people underestimate Plant simply because he's not notorious, he's not super known, and he has defended his title several times. Now, am I saying he's gonna win? Absolutely not. As a Latina, I think Canelo will win and smoke his ass. Now, it will be super difficult to do, and it's almost scary. And if you love to be in scary positions, if you love to be, you know, if you love to live through the tension of boxing, this will be a night to always remember. I can guarantee you that tonight's going to be a great night. We're going to enjoy this fight. Like, I know I will. I know I will because, like I said, if you think that Canelo has it in the bag, I think Canelo has a bigger chance to actually win it because, of course, even if people don't like Canelo, I'm a huge Canelo fan. So if you don't like Canelo, screw you. But other than that, other than that, I would say that he's going to face a tough opponent today. Let's not we're not talking about Daniels. We're not talking about none of these people. We're not even talking about Miguel Cotto. We're talking about a dude that's just as hungry as Canelo is, and he had crazy eyes during the 24/7 that Showtime did. I don't know if you guys watch it, but I watch everything before the fight, and he scared the hell out of me. Oh my god. Oh my god. I see that Jose says, I have plans. I got free tickets for a place, so I'll be enjoying it with one of my friends. Well, you're going to be missing Jose. If you're Latino tonight and you're not watching Canelo, shame on you. But I understand you're gonna go watch a play because probably it will make you a little bit tense. I see that Cultural Castizo says, I absolutely admire father son duos in boxing. Who else better to train and watch your back than your own blood? Absolutely. When I started looking into the history of this kid, his dad trains him every day. There's no rest days, there's no nothing. And I know a lot of people say, oh, you can get, burned by training so much, but when your body morphs into some of these things for so long, there's no stopping you. And I've seen him fight. This kid is a menace, and he wants it just as bad. He wants it just as bad. And yeah, Ramon, like Tito Trinidad, how many times we saw Felix Trinidad Sr. slap Tito Trinidad in the corner and curse at him just to get him to win the fight. We all know how that turned out. Jose says, I'm not into boxing. I enjoy a night in the theater. Okay, Jose, we know you're more sophisticated and you're more elegant and upscale. But the rest of the simple mortals are going to enjoy a night of boxing. Okay. And as if that wasn't enough, tonight we have a crazy, crazy event of UFC vendettas, okay? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll fill you in. Don't worry. We have, first of all, you guys know that we have seen Usman killing it in the UFC. We've seen him literally Superman punch Masvidal in the past. We've seen him destroy Woodley to the point that Woodley never recovered from that. He took the belt from him. We've seen him even destroy Colby Covington's jaw, fucking him up. And then he started bitching and saying, like, oh, this was like a wrong stoppage of the fight, when in reality they had to stop the fight before he was severely punished or injured. Because when Usman comes from you, he might not look the part, but when he comes at you, run. That's all I gotta say. He has 100% takedown defense, and that means that if he wants to take you down, you will go down. That's what that means. 100% of the times he takes you down. He doesn't fail. He's very precise, and he's not scared of diving into new things. Now, I'm seeing that Colby Covington this time is taking it seriously, but he's still too emotional about it. And anything can happen. Hey, it's MMA. Anything can happen. But in my opinion, I think that Usman will win. Now, I don't think it will be like the first fight. It could be, I mean, like I said, it's MMA. Anything can happen. What if Colby today woke up with a bigger heart and he said, no matter what, I'm going to still fight? We never know. But my money is on Usman. Absolutely one of, if not the highest paid MMA fighter in the UFC right now, $12 million a fight. So absolutely, he doesn't get paid that amount of money because he's not that great. He's that great. And let's not forget, he's severely injured, but he's still killing it. How does he do it? I don't know. There's something in the water in Nigeria, because we see Israel Adesanya do the same thing. It's insane. It is insane. And as if that wasn't enough, we also have Nama Yunus versus Sang Wei Lee. Like, look, if you did not find this is, most of the fights here are like the second the second round, just the rematch. And one of the biggest fights that we're gonna see tonight is Nama Yunus versus Sang, because on the first fight she was kicked by Nama Yunus. Sang was kicked in the head, in her jaw, by Nama Yunus. I believe not even a minute in the fight, not even 30 seconds into the fight, and she was knocked out. By the time she woke up, she lost the fight and she could not even accept it. But now she said, I'm training and I'm trying to recover to get my belt back. So that's going to be extremely interesting, because we know Rose is going to bring it too. But can she survive it? Because we know Sang Wei Lee is not playing any games. Now, and as if that wasn't enough, we have Burgos and Quarantillo, Edgar and Vera fighting, and one of my favorite fighters in the UFC, Justin Gagey, is facing Chandler. And this fight is going to be really good. Like, I'm not even kidding you. If you don't know who Justin Gagey is and Chandler is, look them up today. Look at their fight style. Gagey never gives up. Chandler never stops charging. And to be honest with you, it's going to be explosive, because I see that this has to be either a stoppage or a knockout. If not, they're both gonna make it to the end of the fight, because that's just the people they're in. Like, it has to be that way. It's not gonna be like, oh, we're gonna try to dance a little bit and then it's gonna come to a decision. It's going to be kind of obvious. It's going to be kind of obvious who wins the fight. But tonight, like I said, tonight is going to be a night to remember. I'm gonna enjoy it all. Get your snacks, turn on that barbecue, put some steaks or chicken and whatnot. Watch the fight. Turn on the TV. Don't even blink, because you might miss something. And if you have a second TV, like we do here, play the UFC event in one and the boxing event in the other, and watch them fight. Because, like I said, it's going to be It's going to be amazing. I see that Culturally Castizo says martial arts is an art for sure. Absolutely. A lot of people used to say that, oh, they're just brutes and whatnot. No, there's so many things that actually go into martial arts. Like I even explained it when I was talking about Costa and his fight with Vettori. To be honest with you, even the way you dehydrate yourself and cut weight and have to hydrate yourself, it's a component. It's basically a science combined with an art, because you acquire different talents and form your own unique style, and you put it against somebody else's style and make the best win. So definitely, guys, that has been all for sports today. Now let's keep moving to the main topic. Now, the main topic, guys. I know I've talked a lot. It's Saturday morning. I woke up late, but I know you guys have missed me and my perspective on things. But one thing I will say is before I start the main topic, make sure you like this video, and if you love my content and you want to share it with somebody else, make sure you share it. Bring them over here. Let's get the conversation popping. You guys know I love to interact with the chat section as well. But the main topic today is duty calls. Duty is calling and we must answer. And a lot of people asked me what this show was going to be about. Obviously, if you haven't watched the thumbnail, if you will see it, it's going to be about police. A lot of people, last year particularly, we saw them protesting defund the police. And to be honest with you, I think we have militarized the police to a point where we're extremely uneven compared to them and their equipment and whatnot. However, those calls did not happen. Like we even saw it with LAPD. They only took 100 million from them. They still have billions of dollars. And after a while, I started looking deeper into this thing, and I understand that a lot of people come from the stigma of Eric Gardner, Mr. Floyd, freaking Rodney King, and whatnot. And I understand that. I completely understand that. This is not to take away from the fact that we've seen brutal maniacs out there dressed as police officers doing crazy things. But we're talking about the fact that it's time to take charge. Like there's a lot of people that loves to complain about the police, but for some reason I'm asking them today, how come you never join it? Because if there is a problem in your house, and every time, for example, let's say you have like a roaches infestation, that's just freaking disgusting to begin with. Like if you have a roaches problem, call in an exterminator pronto and throw away everything you can. But if you have, let's say you have a roaches infestation and you call the exterminator, and when they come in, they just break your walls and mess it all up. When are you going to understand that you have to look into being your own exterminator and do it right? Oh my God, Joseph Harmon. I remember that movie. That was disgusting, but funny. Oh my God, that was gross. I remember that movie. Oh, you're giving me the goosebumps. That's gross. Jose says it's easier to complain about something than to do something about it. Absolutely. When I say I wish people would join the force, I mean that. Every problem, and I want people to understand that every problem has more than one solution. The only solution to the problem that's infesting the police force in this nation does not only have the solution to defund the police. Keep the funding in the police, but it's time for you to go in there and make the change that you want to see. And a lot of people usually give a lot of crap when you ask them to do this because they just lazy. They are just lazy. So if you don't like the way things are being done, do it yourself. That's an alternate solution. We're never going to get rid of police. It's here to stay. It has been here for centuries. It's not going to go anywhere. So when is it going to be the time when you're going to look at yourself in the mirror, slap the little coward bitch that you have inside you and say, if I am so worked up about this, it's time for me to become a police officer. Jose says it makes too much sense. Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is a problem that I have with a lot of TEPs. A lot of correct TEPs, and I'm going to talk about the correct TEPs, even though that's Jose's lane. A lot of correct TEPs love to correct people for saying this type of stuff. And like I said, I'm not taking away from the fact that the police force right now is a POS. I'm not taking away from that fact. It is true. But the calls for defunding the police are not working, will never work. My thing is, if you're so worked up about it, why you don't do something about it? And all you hear is all you hear is that. All we hear is that whenever people are asked to actually do something about it, all we hear is that. But we want to sit here and complain 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 and complain. I'm like, imagine if 20% of the millions of people that were protesting with BLM last year were to say, hey, you know what? We're not going to accomplish anything by walking down the streets and setting things on fire because we're upset. And I give it to them. I was upset too. But let's just go into the force and change it from within. How about you go out there and risk your life and defeat crime the way you think is the positive way? And that is basically the question that I'm bringing today. I see that Culturally Castizo 2.0 says police have poor protocol. Defunding the police takes away from programs that could potentially right this wrong. Not only that, it's like I said, even if they have poor protocols, why don't you do the job to understand the job and change the job? It's like I said, a lot of people love to complain, but a lot of people don't like doing. And things in this nation and in the world, in life in general, only change when you do something about it. And I know a lot of people are going to come for me. I know a lot of people are going to say, send me stupid DMs and whatnot. But in all honesty, I am so fed up. I am tired with the correct tips and their stupidity. Do something about it. If not, shut up about it. Because they are the ones that are doing that job. You don't know what it is to fight crime. We don't know how you will turn out to be if you have to fight crime. If you have to put your life at risk every day, not knowing if you're going to come back to your family. You don't know that. How would you know? How would you know? So that's like I said, the question that I'm posing today is the same thing that I did when I did the stream. It's time to clean the barrio. A lot of people and the correct tips are driving us insane by complaining about gentrification. Another problem that it's not necessarily white supremacy, is black and brown laziness. It's black and brown laziness. It is what it is. How do you get gentrified? You don't work for your barrio. You don't fix it up. You throw trash on the streets. You don't try to buy cheap property there and make it worth a little bit more, gentrify it yourself. You don't try to do these things. So of course, Who's the real cause of gentrification? Black and brown laziness. Who's the guilt of not taking charge and changing the police force to the way we need it to be as a society? Black and brown laziness. Black and brown laziness will be the downright, the hands down demise of this society. And that is what I keep talking about. And people keep just coming at me on a personal level instead of just having the conversation. And like I said, I don't need credit, I need action. You don't need to give me credit. You don't even need to come to this platform. I know a lot of people watch my content simply because they hate me, but they can seem to go away. And if you're one of those viewers that are here and you don't necessarily like my persona, you don't have to like me. I don't want you to like me. I don't need to be liked. But there's a lot of things that you can do in the shadows for yourself, for our people, and for the community. And one of those things is slapping the little b in yourself and do something about it. It's not the lack of resources. It's not. And let's not forget, it's not like the salary is a piece of shit. It's a good salary. So you literally go from minimum wage worker, middle class. So what is the, aside from you risking your life, which is something that you eventually do every day, even when you get on your vehicle, why not join it? Why you're not joining the force? Why you keep just staying here complaining about it, denouncing it, being an internet activist and whatnot, instead of just going out and do the things that you have to do? I see that culturally Castiza says much proactivity, courage, and hands-on approach is the top-notch way to make change in our communities. Grab the bull by the horns. Absolutely. But you know what's the problem, culturally Castiza? A lot of people in this society, especially in our communities as minorities, we love to complain. And I think it's this generation more than anything. Like if you're in your 20s, it's that generation. You're part of the problem. 20s and early 30s. And the fact is, to be honest with you, is that your fear of failure, your fear of life is keeping you protected from the world and failing. I'll give you that. But it's also keeping you from the chance of actually making it as well. I see that Jose says it's because they kind of argue with facts. You have secret admirers. Yeah, and you know what's crazy? Like I said, I don't care. You don't have to like me. I don't need you to like me for this to work. I need you to just put yourself out there in anywhere possible. A lot of people usually, because I talk a lot about how to make money, entrepreneurship, business minded, corporate America, and whatnot. And a lot of people come at me and like, oh, I'm poor, I'm broke, I'm this, I'm that. How can you be broke when the police force right now needs close to 100,000 people nationwide? What's the excuse? Firefighters are in shortage right now. A lot of people watch me from California. In California, firefighters are in shortage. If you don't want to risk your life fighting crime, fight fires. There's no excuse to be poor. Now, I see that Cultural Castizo says we definitely risk our life buying that Cactus Jack meal at McDonald's. Absolutely. They will risk their life eating junk food and putting the jab on, but they will not risk their lives to actually give their families a better life, a safer life, and to make a big change by working on it and being the change. And that is the problem that I have with the TEPS community. The slow TEPS and the correct TEPS are the most annoying people in the world. and followed directly by the divest steps. And simply because they keep complaining, 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 but there's no action. There is no solution. And I can say vulgar things about them, but I won't. But in reality, like I said, it's so crazy to me that I just see the problem and find an alternate solution to it. And I didn't even put like a lot of thought on it. I didn't even put a lot of thought on it, but probably I don't know what I'm talking about. Probably I'm just full of shit. Probably, I don't know what I'm talking about. And that is the problem. A lot of people also um loves to talk to me about, you know, how I'm a woman, I'm not supposed to be talking about this, and I'm not supposed to do this, and I'm not supposed to do that, blah, 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 blah. A lot of people love, 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 love to say that. Love, simply because they want me to shut up about it. And that is the problem with the slow tips. They want people to shut up about it because it's like, don't tell the world that I'm just sitting on my ass waiting for my parents to pass and inherit me their hard work inheritance. Now I'm gonna pull out the salaries of the top paying states for police and sheriff's patrol in 2018. We know that it's higher today, but the state of Illinois pays a year for a police officer $75,720. The state of Washington pays $77,670. New Jersey pays $83,720. Alaska pays $88,030, and California pays a whooping $101,000 $380. And people have the freaking nerve to come at me and tell me that they are too broke, that not everybody's supposed to make money, that not everybody's supposed to be middle class, that not everybody's supposed to be making all this money, that some people are just going to be happy eating one time or two times per day. If you took a shower and have a roof, you're okay. No, it is not, sir. It is not, lady. It's time for you to pick a profession and grow the hell up. A profession that can actually afford what we discussed at the beginning of this show. We saw that America is getting more expensive. Your salary as a minimum wage worker is not going to cover it. On top of that, we have a lot of crime on the streets and not a lot of police officers. And the police officers that we have in its majority have a culture that you don't like. Some of them are not even intentionally doing this. Some of them are just burned out, and you won't even show up and help them out. No matter how many bonuses, sick days, holidays. Like I said, I don't know. Culture Castizo said, wow, that's good bread. Absolutely, it is. And the funny part is that you don't even have to work 5 days in a week. You can work 4 days or 3 days. You still get paid the same. Now, Jose says they get 27 paid vacation days after 5 years plus unlimited paid sick leave. Absolutely. And they get holiday pay too. Plus, this is just the basic salary. If you want to do overtime, come on. There's no excuse for what we should be living in the conditions that we live in. The only problem is us. The problem is not them, the problem is you. And it's time for people, especially in my generation and Gen Z, to start taking accountability, because our parents and our grandparents did what they had to do. And even if they didn't do what they had to do, what are you going to do about it? What are you gonna do about it? Like, I'm so sick about people talking and talking and talking. The numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. I see a lot of women, and I'm gonna dive into the diverse steps for a minute too. I see a lot of women like, oh, like, black men don't protect us, our men don't protect us, blah blah blah. How the hell can you say you don't feel protected yet you don't do something about it? 12% of the force in the United States, out of 800,000 police officers we have across this nation, only 12% are women. If you feel so unprotected, how come not 30% of y'all are in the force? Only 12 stupid percent. And you don't feel protected. Like I said, every time somebody points out a problem, it's a problem within themselves. It's their lack of resourcefulness. It's not that you don't have the resources. It's not that you are unprotected. It's that you won't take charge and protect yourself because you are lazy. That's something that all the TEPs across the board have in common. You're not like your grandma. You're not like your great grandma. You're not like a grandfather if you're a slow tep or a Hispano tep. You're not like your grandpa. You're not like your father. Same with the correct teps. Turn off the phone. Get off of the computer. Stop doing live streams. And be freaking productive. Stop being a loser. Make this year the last year that you are a loser. There's plenty of avenues out there where you can make a living, a decent living. Your family doesn't have to survive anymore. Now we can move into thriving and existing and having fun so that people can go to college in the family. That's how you move forward. That's how you stop police brutality. That's how you stop all this crime that's happening. That's how you stop it. You want police brutality to end? Become the police. Become the police. Time to crowd the police. I'm serious about it. I am serious about it. But maybe, like I said, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe, I'm just pulling stuff out of my ass, like one of this so-called male uh, slow tap said in the past. Stop listening to a woman. They don't know what they're talking. She doesn't know what I'm talking about. It's scary to listen to her. It is scary to listen to me if you're a little pussy. It is scary because I'm the only one telling the truth. And like I said before, I know because I'm working on my own masculinity as a woman. I know it's not my place to call out grown men. But like I said many months ago, until I see more men in my generation doing this in large numbers, I'm all you got. I'm what you got. I don't see nobody talking about this in large numbers. I am all you got. I see stupid people thinking they're going to get rich with crypto while living in an apartment with 7 other people. Some people living in their mom's garage. One person streaming from their mom's cleaning supplies closet. So I'm all you got. You're out here by yourself. I am all these people have. Until I see, like I said, large numbers of males in my generation doing what our fathers, our grandfathers, our great grandfathers used to do. They didn't have time to be on Instagram. They didn't have time to be on YouTube. They didn't have time to do live streams out the ass. If you don't believe me, you have 2 examples here on my channel that are like people that are common here. And sometimes they can't even be here. That's Jose Negron and Ramon. And Rakim. But if you just want to keep it Latino, Jose and Ramon. They don't have time to do this. Why? Because they're working their ass off. That's what past generations used to do. This generation, no, we're the kings and queens of YouTube, the kings and queens of Instagram. And we have so much time to talk about stupid shit. I've seen so many people. Listen, I'm going to make a stream because this season is going to focus so much on slow taps and all the taps community asses. I'm going to focus on that a lot. A lot. It's time to call out the stupidity. It's time for the circus to end. It's time for us to move from something that has not worked. Because once people like Jose and Ramon retire, we're going to be extremely and chronically poor, if not homeless. Mark my words, extremely and chronically poor, if not homeless. I'm only seeing literally 10% of our generation is the only one that's going to make it. Because we're the only ones that are willing to go out there, all tired as hell, and still do what we need to do, not what we want to do. What we need to do. It's time for you to do things that make you feel good. I don't care if you feel good. Life's not supposed to be about you feeling good. Life's supposed to be about what you need to do and get shit done. At least that's the way I was raised. That's the way it should be. So before making all this mental gymnastics about all these problems that are happening, either become the solution or shut the hell up. But maybe I don't know what I'm talking, which is why I'm going to share real quick. I'm not going to stay here for long, but I'm going to share real quick uh, the link so that people can come up if you want to make a comment. Look at Melanie Knight. He's like, that's what I'm doing. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, people are just crybabies nowadays. Crybabies. Never seen something like it. But guys, you guys know I always take an intermission. Grab your drinks. I know I've been here an hour and a half talking, and the conversation is really good. Grab your drinks, grab your snacks, spare a penny, like British people say, if you catch my drift. And I'll be back here in 5 minutes to discuss this with Jose so far. And if you think you can contribute something to the conversation, or you think I'm full of shit, you think I don't know what I'm talking about, or you actually agree with me and you want to expand more, you have a different perspective, I want to hear from you. So make sure you also click on that link and jump in. Oh my God, we're late at night. LAPD, baby. But anyway, guys, before we go, follow me on Instagram if you haven't done so. My Instagram is denise.gonzalez.villegas1, so that you can keep in touch with me with everything that's happening in Latin America, in our Latin diaspora, because sometimes I don't necessarily have the time to make a video. That's only what the slow tips do. But oh my God. But you can keep up with me there because it's more instant. And also you can give me your perspective. And I love to hear from people that watches my content. So definitely, if you haven't followed me on Instagram, make sure you follow me on Instagram today. Also, if you have any questions, you can also DM me. Feel free to DM me about any questions that you have and whatnot. Now, guys, I'm going to take a quick intermission of 5 minutes. It's 11:23 here in Los Angeles. I will be back at 11:28 to actually discuss this with people that want to voice out their opinion regarding this topic. So I see you guys here at 11:28. And we are back. We are back, people. We are back. Before I let Jose in, I want to remind everybody that the views and the statements of the guests do not necessarily represent those of the channel and or those of the panel members, as some comments may be offensive to select groups of people. Also, I want to remind everybody that by calling into this live show, you waive your rights to the use of your image and likeness for the purposes of this show. And without any further ado, let's welcome Jose Negron, the one and only, the representative and mayor of Parkchester, Jose Negron.
Good Actually, it's I guess good morning for you because it's afternoon here in New York, Denise. First of all, I just want to congratulate you on getting 200 subs, and,
Thank you.
and thank you very much for allowing me on your platform and giving me the shout out.
Absolutely, absolutely. How you been this morning?
Fine. It's just that, of course, the weekends are always busy. I went with my sister to visit the graves of my grandmother, brother, and mother. And tonight I'm going out for an evening of the theater. I know that you have other plans. I hope you had a good time with your curricular activities, so to speak.
Absolutely.
And hello, Melanie Knight.
What's up, Melanator Night?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yes,
can hear you.
All right. Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Cause I ain't gonna be on this stream long. I'm gonna say it because in the chat room, some people like to ignore it, but for now on, you guys are gonna get blocked for making comments. Not just because I'm connected to Denise, but because a lot of the times these information streams, you guys don't participate in them. And what you want to do is bring the crap that y'all do from those other streams, the free streams where y'all can talk about anything, and y'all bring them here. So if you really, to be respectful, if we're talking about serious subjects that actually matter, leave that stupid shit in stupid panels or not insulting anybody. You can do whatever you want. But I find it funny that you guys will do that. You bring that unintelligent, joking stuff to serious streams, and you guys don't want to participate, but you're quick to make comments about stuff. So if you do that shit like Kilo did, I will not time you out. I will automatically block you, not only from the comment section, I will block you from the channel. So be respectful, and if you want to participate, participate. But we're not doing this whole thing where we were on one stream joking around, hee hee ha ha, and then we come on streams with actual subjects and start doing the same thing. Cut it out. You're an adult. I shouldn't have to tell you like you're a child. So I'm just letting people in the comment section and on the stream know. Do not come in doing this whole, oh bitch, and this all stuff. That belongs on the fuckery streams, not on this one.
Said by the watcher, the
mhm.
one that sees it all and will slay his machete, his virtual machete on your comments.
If I may chime in for a second, Denise, the fact of the matter is you have secret admirers. I mean, they would never admit it because why would they continue going on and on and on talking about the same crap? Now, getting to the topic, which is why we're here. The fact of the matter is this. It is easier to complain about something than to actually try to do something about it. I mean, the fact of the matter is, and I put it in the chat, that the starting salary for a cop is $42,500. Now, after 5 years, that could be like over 80,000. Plus, after 5 years, you get 27 days of paid annual leave and unlimited sick leave. So that's one way that a person can enter the middle class. And actually, by being a police officer, you have a role in trying to improve the culture of the police department.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like I said, there's more than one solution to one problem. But oftentimes people pick the laziest way to actually make it happen. And that is, oh, let's just, go on Twitter and deposit all the hate that I can because I'm too much of a snowflake to actually do something about it.
Well, you know something here in New York, and 275 will get you a ride on the subway. Okay. And the fact of the matter is, it's very unproductive to be constantly complaining. And the fact of the matter is this: people like myself are going to retire in a few years. In fact, many municipal employees have already put in their retirement. Part of it has to do with COVID-19. And part of it is like basically people are tired. Okay, so that means the baton has to be passed to the millennials and the Gen Z crowd. And if this is the type of representation that we have to deal with, God help us all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I always encourage the slow tips.
You mean the mix?
Yeah.
The mentally and intellectually challenged. But remember, all mixed lives matter.
MLM makes lives matter. And they're mad because we're calling them on their bullshit. Oh my God. They are really mad about it. I know it hurts. I know.
But you know something? Someone asked me, why are my streams too short? First of all, I'm not here to do 8, 9, 10-hour streams. Okay? I got a life. Like, unlike some of these other people, I work. I have responsibility to deal with. I don't have the time and the luxury to spend 9, 10 hours talking about Mr. BBC and about the three roots and the resurrecting the Spanish Empire and to make the DR white again.
Absolutely. It's like I was saying, look, Ramon commented, wish I could join, but I can't. We know Ramon is a very busy man, and he's more often than not working a lot. That's what I am talking about. And yeah, I wish Ramon was here, but he has responsibilities like men do.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, this is one thing that we are slashing again, the stupidity of the TEPS community. You know, a lot of the problems that usually these people have is basically a lack of taking accountability for stuff. The world in America has become so comfortable for these people to the point that they really don't have to do anything but just to stick out their hands and receive grace. You know?
Kind of reminds me of certain individuals on YouTube. I'm not going to mention that person's name, but it's talking about death in the United States, but yet this person is sucking on the teeth of the great Satan.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm gonna touch on that. I'm gonna touch on that subject later. But trust me, this second season of Latin Explaining is going to focus a lot on the slow taps. It's going to be massively focused on the slow taps because, like I said when I started on the first episode of season 2, the debt that slow taps create, and there is a reason why a lot of people don't understand, because a lot of people have been asking me, yo, what's with the mannequins and whatnot? The mannequins that you see on suits and on different positions, those are the blank spaces that slow taps do not occupy, that are open for Latino millennials and Gen Zs to occupy, because our baby boomers and Gen X are one step closer to retirement, and we're just becoming influencers.
And let me tell you something, and let me make this perfectly clear. If I want to, I can retire now, okay, and get a full pension. The reason why I have not done so is, first of all, I'm in good health, number one. Number two, I'm one of those crazy people that actually likes his job. And I would like to get at least one more promotion under my belt before I retire, because, of course, that means I'll have more in Social Security and a bigger pension.
The way you say a bigger pension. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, there's a lot of things to unpack when it comes to the slow tips, and I wanted to actually tackle on this one because more oftentimes than not, I get a lot of people telling me like, "Oh, we're poor. Where are we gonna get the money to invest? Where are we gonna get the money to start these businesses that you're telling us to start?" Well, there are jobs out there that can pay you for your bills and give you enough money to actually have anything on the side that you need to have in order to thrive.
Speaking about pay, do you? One thing I know, I just took notice that NYPD cops with overtime and knife differentials can earn potentially over $100,000 a year.
Absolutely. Here in California, in LA, they pay like high money, top notch money.
Yeah. And the fact of the matter is, you can get a full pension with the NYPD in about 20 years and still be young enough to do something else.
Absolutely. That's what I said. If you can save for 20 years, let's say out of that, let's say you have $80,000 and you live with 40 and you save for 20 years $40,000. You have $100,000 to invest, reinvest, and retire.
Um, Denise, you know what's the problem with that? Now,
Yeah, I know.
Should I say, or I'll let you? Or you want to say it?
It makes too much sense.
There you go.
Oh my god. Yeah, absolutely. I'm telling you, we have a ticket to the first row of the Snowflakes Theater. I see that Culturally Castiza says the police force in New York require college credits or military service. I feel like prospective officers should instead be required to complete a modern policy degree program and have an high school or GED. But you know what's crazy, Culturally Castizo? They can actually go to New Jersey where that is not a requirement, or they can go to Illinois or Oklahoma or Texas or LA and actually complete the FTO program and then go into do the academy and then just go and move anywhere. It's like I said, it's not the lack of resources. It's the lack of resourcefulness. And if you think about it, for example, if you have to have college credits, just do a semester or two and transition into the police force. It's not that big of a deal. In 2 years you can change your life drastically. That's a goal. That's a whole goal. So like I said, there's a lot of things out there that people can become, and they choose to leave it empty, which is why we keep seeing the whole mannequin theme that I have going on for the slow tips. All those mannequins and suits and whatnot that we're seeing is simply because those are the positions that will never be filled by the slow taps, especially when guys like Jose and Ramon retire.
You know something? I think you developed the anthem for this for the mix in your intro to to season two.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's like I said, it's something that, oh my god. And you know what's crazy is the need they have. If you think about it, it's more appealing for the slow taps to actually make live streams, and they're not making live streams, make no mistake, they're not making live streams because they want to inform you. The reason why they're making live streams, because they're not informing you of anything, is because we suffer from what I've said many times, the need to be special. There is a subculture right now in between the millennials and the seniors that with social media you need to come up with big news and big stuff and do this and do that. No information, just stupidity, because you need to feel special.
But you know something? I think I'm a good example. Um, of the fact that you don't have to do all that. I mean, you see my streams and you see my videos. I mean, I would say it's like 95% informational. The only things on my that was not as informational has to do with, of course, it was my little birthday celebration and me dining out. But for the most part, it's giving information such as how to be a homeowner, how to deal with stress during the holidays, how to, the responsibility of being a caregiver. I mean, that's information that we all can use. And I'm not an expert. It just so happens that I've been blessed and I've been around for 59 years. So I have some wisdom to share for those who will receive it.
It goes back, Jose, to what we were discussing on your channel in the last live stream that I was able to join. Um, One thing I would say is that if you think about it, when we were talking about millennials and baby boomers and what do we have in common, one thing I would say is that remember when I was talking to you about how the internet uses millennials and seniors, whereas uh, we don't use the internet. This is one proof of that. You know, the internet uses us because it enslaves us into this culture of being liked, of, being special for something that you really are not. You're just a normal person like everybody else. You're just average. And instead of just using the internet to spread information that can be useful, whether it's from your personal experiences or things that you have researched, like for example, there's a lot of things that I discovered on Christina's channel, that I didn't knew about Latin America. She's using the internet to tell you these things. But then you have the low IQ streams that actually, instead of giving you information, they just ponder on stupidity.
Yes, like
Don't mention don't mention names.
Can
I'm not
I say
mentioning.
something real quick?
Yeah, go
Yes, go
ahead.
ahead.
I think culturally mestizo, I think that's half. I think, that's half correct. It is, they are demonized, because they do help us. But we also have to understand they also play a part in some of that too. We can't, I'm not saying I'm balanced because me myself, I'm about to join the LAPD. So as me becoming an officer, studying to be an officer myself, I have to understand that not everything they do is, bad. Not everything they do is like this chaotic thing that everybody describes it as, but we can't also sit here and be like, they don't do anything because they have killed innocent people. They have done things, and I have to realize that too as a person. They've done things, and as an officer, I hope other officers becoming, whether they're one already or whether they're becoming one, realize that there's a balance. We can't just like we can't demonize them completely. We can't also praise them completely. We got officers that get scared when they approach people and ended up killing people that didn't do anything because they're so nervous and scared. So we have to hold them accountable. They're not superheroes. They're
Yeah.
people. They're yes, they work. We work for the people. I might as well say we because I'm basically part of that. We work for the people, but we also have to understand we make mistakes and we're not heroes. And that's the thing. People always want to put us in the hero section and they're always demonized, but we also have to understand we're not heroes all the time either. Like these movies about corruption don't come out of nowhere.
Mhm.
So,
Absolutely, absolutely. And I see that Ramon asks, "Hey, is no bullshit coming back?" Yeah, it's coming back. I'm putting things together. Trust me, it's coming back, Ramon. It's coming back different, but I will be announcing in 2 weeks when it's gonna come back. So stay tuned for that. Now I see that Colter Castizo said, "Most respect to you. Best luck in that field." I feel like I feel that today they have put protocol and act on emotions. Absolutely. And he said they need
Yep.
better programs. Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
absolutely.
I don't
Absolutely.
disagree with what he said at all. It is demonized to a extent because there are good officers. I've encountered them, but like we said, I can't. I'm black, and in the communities, we also can't lie and say people don't have a bias toward black and brown people. I'm not saying like it's this. It's a history there. We can't ignore that. Should we demonize every officer? No. But for the ones that do it, hold them accountable. We don't have the time to be treating them like heroes. And, oh, well, because a few helped me, that means the ones that shot George Floyd or them, they were just doing their job. No, they killed innocent people. Mistakes happen, but we got to hold them accountable too.
I mean, look, the fact of the matter is, we're all flawed human beings. We're all idiosyncrasies and whatnot. It's just that there are those who cannot master their emotions or their inner demons and whatnot. And it takes a certain type of individual to be a police officer, and not everyone can do it.
Yeah, yeah. Not everybody is capable of doing it. You
Hmm.
have to be raised in a certain mentality where your emotions are not like a big part of you, and also not be a scaredy cat. I think like a lot of the TEPS community that keeps complaining about not having ways of making money, and like we're demanding too much and whatnot, is because deep down they're scared of failure. People don't like to fail, and we have one of the most fragile generations we've seen, and that's what they don't even think about joining the force. They don't even think about being a firefighter. They don't even think about doing nothing, not
Yeah,
even college.
but the
Um,
thing, hey, how's it going? But the thing is, here's the thing with that. I don't really care about the slow tips. I don't, they have their things and whatnot, but this goes for both sides of the coin. You can't complain about, the policing and then not wanting to join. Partially, that's why I'm joining. I gotta change things. I can't keep sitting here complaining that, the system's not changing. I have to join it to change it. And
Look,
then when you get in it, you can't always go along to get along. You have to change it because that too, when you get in those systems, if you go along to get along, it's no different as if you were just to be, like how we are on the internet, be on the internet complaining because now you're just going along with the system that is, and then you're going to complain even when you're in that position. Oh, things
absolutely,
aren't changing because you don't want to change it. You want to be buddy buddy with everybody.
absolutely,
mhm.
absolutely. I see that we have Kilo apparently wants to have his voice heard. I'm gonna let you in. However, no cursing. So if you want to just curse, I'll put you less than lightning can strike. Let's welcome Kilo to the stream. What's up, Kilo? Hello. Hello.
Yo, melanated. You hear me? Melanated.
Yes,
Yeah, we can
yes.
hear you,
Y'all hear
Kilo.
me?
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah.
you.
Hey, I was gonna ask you, dog. Have you always felt that way, or is it just now that you're gonna become a cop?
I've always felt that way.
So yeah, okay. So I got like very important question. So if your partner, please be honest, if your partner were to um, do an underhanded shit like beat up a black man, like they do this shit a lot. Like they're having a bad day and they just kind of push a black man or whatever man. They push him to you know what I'm saying. I mean, you know what I'm saying, right? When they start little they tell you shit, they start fucking with you. Are you gonna do anything, or would you just back them up as
I'm
you're
not
supposed to. You're
understanding the
supposed to back them
question.
up, no matter.
He's basically asking you, like, if you're in the
Okay,
presence of a situation that's basically
yeah.
somebody trying to do like police brutality on one of the people in your community, would you just be a bystander or you will do
Or
something?
just
What would you
harassment.
do?
You have to do. Why would you let?
If
That's
you
the thing. Like if my partner is doing that, why should I sit there and let him do it? There's a code of conduct we have to follow. So if I'm letting him beat up on somebody, just beat up on somebody, then that's wrong. I said we got to take him in, do
no, I
something.
would
If he
say to
did something,
harassment.
I can't hear you.
You gotta speak up a little bit, Killer, because you
Sorry,
sound
or
very far
just
away.
harassment.
What do you mean by
Okay,
harassment? Like,
or just harassment.
Like
but
if
what?
they're talking shit, I'm
Like
not
okay,
understanding.
it's because I don't know. Okay,
Physically,
for example, okay, for example, I was at a 7-Eleven, right?
Hmm.
This is an example. It really did happen though, but I was at a 7-Eleven, and the man called the cops. He thought I was gonna like do something to him, or I don't know what the fuck, right? But who cares? But that's not against the law. Him being scared. But anyway, I was getting something from the Coke machine, right? The cops come in. They look for excuses. They've done this more than once in my life, so I know many people have had this. The cops tell me to, hey, aren't you gonna clean that? Cops don't go into 7-Eleven or anywhere to tell you to clean shit. You know they're fucking with me, right?
mm-hmm.
Okay, so what would you do if that was a black man they were doing it to? In order to aggravate him, and then of course they arrest him.
Well, first of all, I would tell them to stop. I wouldn't even let it go on because we're not there to egg on people. We're there to see what the situation is, and I
I like
think
that. Cool.
we can't. Like the fact is, that's what I was saying. Like people get in the police force too, and they complain. You can't go along to get along. Even if it was a white dude or whoever, I still would be like, "Yo, we don't need to do that." Just I would approach you and be like, "Is anything going wrong?" Oh no, everything's good. Then we're good. Because as soon as I escalate it, then what if my partner doesn't feel the same way I do, he's gonna use it as an excuse to feel like, well, he escalate, you gonna get upset, he's gonna get upset. I'm supposed to de-escalate. And that's the problem. Every cops have to learn how to de-escalate things. You're here for the community. Yes, we're brothers in arms, but if brothers in arms don't actually become brothers and tell them like, yo, leave him alone. He didn't do nothing wrong. He's good. Then what we're gonna keep saying the same thing we're saying today. I work for the people, not for you know, for my own self interest.
See,
Yeah.
I believe you, dog, because of your answer. I wasn't expecting that answer. Like I really wasn't even thinking about that answer. So it was a very good answer. But
Yeah, I
in
mean that's
my
just
whole
how I
life, bro,
grew up.
I have never. But in my whole life, I have never. I've met a lot of good cops, bro. A lot of good cops. But I have not one of them. And these men are good people. I'm thinking you're as good as they are. But not one of them ever told their partner, like right there, to, yo, you know, what are we doing, man? You know what I mean? You know,
Mm-hmm.
let's just get his name, do our job. They don't do that. From what I've seen, I'm not sure because you're a cop. Maybe you know you can answer this. Uh, from what I've seen, they have to go along with the other officer until until they're like behind a closed door, and then they'll like, yo, man, you know what I mean? Like take them to the side or something. But in my presence, they have to go along with the whole like everything,
I mean,
or
shoot, you
something will
could pull
happen
them
to
to
them.
the side. You
That's
ain't
what I've
gotta
seen. I've seen a lot of good
like if
cops.
you don't want to embarrass the person that you with, you could pull them to the side. Like, yo, we don't need to mess with him. I just think like there needs to be a code of conduct. Like I said, I'll join. I'm joining the force, and I understand like we're boys in blue and we're brothers and stuff. But like I said, I got a whole. We took an oath, And my oath is not to harass
Oh yeah.
people. Because if I'm doing that, that just puts me in a different position. It's like I'm working security now. It's like one of my coworkers uh, starts running his mouth about something that our superior did, and I said, "So you just," I said, "You just weakened," or no, he's treating the people bad. I said, "So how do you expect them to treat you back? If you don't gain any respect or trust among the people, you're always going to get disrespect. And then in disrespect, you're going to escalate things, and things are escalated to a point that didn't even have to be escalated to,
Yeah.
because you didn't come in good faith to that situation."
And that's
Yeah,
that's
people like you become
basically
cop.
that's basically what we've been saying here. Like if we want to change the culture of what we're seeing, the numbers of what we push into the force has to be significant. Because for example, look at what Ramon is saying. Ramon says, "MK, I understand there's a code of conduct of the force, but there's also a code of covering each other when it comes to their actions, and you doing things right by the book may get you enemies on the force." I understand that. Look at Serpico. We don't even have to look
Yeah,
at
yeah,
movies.
that's what I'm saying.
If you look at Serpico, however, that's precisely my point when I say we have to join in significant numbers. This cannot be like one person will fix it all. It's not going to take just one person. There's a lot of cops that feel this way as well. I've seen it myself when they see stuff and they just stop the bullshit. But they're not everywhere at the same time. They're not omnipresent. So, of course, we're going to need a significant number of people that feels that sense of duty and goes in and changes it from within. Now, I see that Jose says the manner
Before we
a
got melanated
person,
night.
yeah, the melanated night. Jose says the manner a person speaks can calm a situation or make it worse. Absolutely. We often see cops that escalate situations unnecessarily when they just would have solved the problem by just talking. And if you have to arrest them, make the arrest and keep it moving. But they just escalate and the person gets injured and whatnot. But to be honest with you, is a matter of if you go in with good faith, and that goes directly to a person's beliefs. But I am pretty sure if you're a brown or black person or even a white person that has a sense of duty over whatever the hell is that you think that is the subculture, to not put names on it, of course, you look at the people in the community and you're going to think twice before you do these things because you didn't join the force to do these things regardless of the outcome. And that's when the real question that people should be asking yourself kicks in.
Yeah,
Why? Go
oh
ahead.
my, you'll be surprised how many situations. I'm not a loud person. I can be, but like for the most part, I'm chill. I'm from Missouri, and I was taught you treat people how you want to be treated. I know that's been taught everywhere else, but I think some people you get you feeling yourself, and I understand you take that power trip, but you have to understand a lot of those situations could be solved if you just talk. I don't
Yeah.
have time. I don't want to escalate it with you because I want to go home. I know you want to go home. So let's figure out a way we can solve this together and go home.
Excuse me, if I could just chime in for a second. I remember a situation um, when I was starting out as a fraud investigator, and I went out that day with a supervisor, and we conducted a home visit. Now, before you know it, the supervisor was arguing with the client in the client's house. Now, mind you, I am a new investigator, fraud investigator. So therefore, I had to step in and I had to like, look, I understand that this is a difficult time for you. We're not here to make it any worse. We're here because you are applying for services about me. What we're trying to do is just trying to do our part to make sure that everything is done that you get the services that you need. And I was able to bring the volume down because it looked like if I didn't step in, it could have gotten into a heated argument. And what made it worse, the guy was a supervisor. It wasn't even father because the guy was a supervisor, meaning that person should have known better than I do. And the fact that me as a rookie, I have to step in to calm the situation down.
Yeah, that's I saw it in Florida. There was like a viral video last year when there was this
That
lady
takes balls, man.
she had to do it, and she was the only one to do it. And then the other ones that felt the same way but weren't doing anything about it followed her. It's just about that's basically what it will take. It has to take people that are willing to call out the bullshit. Now I want to move to what culturally Jacinto said, and that's the last question we're going to touch on because we're going to start wrapping this up. And he says, this question is on immigration. As an aspiring officer, this is from Melanated Night. This is it. As an aspiring officer, how do you feel about policing in a state that just passed tougher sanctuary city laws like New York, which protect undocumented criminals? He continues to say, let's say you risk your life to lock someone up that is not only dangerous but undocumented. Do you feel it's okay to let this person back out into the streets and not follow the law and contact federal government to deport them?
Hell no, arrest the fuck, beat his ass.
What do you think, Melanated Night?
Just a second.
Okay.
Um,
Well, how do you feel about that, Jose? Like, if you were put in that position while Melanated Night handles his stuff.
okay, first of all, the fact of the matter is, as a municipal employee, my job is to service them regardless of their immigration status to the extent that I am legally allowed to do so. As far as why, we shouldn't report them to the federal authorities, that's a matter for politicians to make. They're the ones that made up the laws stating what we can do or cannot do. But the fact of the matter is, as a municipal employee, regardless of their immigration status, my function is to provide them services to the extent that I can legally do so.
Can you put
Absolutely.
the question or the second half of that question up?
Oh, okay. He
And the first
says,
one?
yeah,
Let
he
me see.
says, okay, he said, this question is on immigration. As an aspiring officer, how do you feel about policing in a state that has just passed a tougher sanctuary city laws like New York, which protect undocumented criminals? Let's say you risk your life to lock someone up that is not only dangerous but undocumented. Do you feel it's okay to let this person back out into the streets and not follow the law and contact federal government to deport them?
Well, soon as I arrest them, they should be deported. No lie. Like if you're causing trouble and you run into me and I have to arrest you, then you should be automatically sent back. I don't
Yeah.
understand why we have to arrest these
Yes.
people and put them back into the system. I'm not, they're people, but like I said, there's dangerous people and there's safe people. If you're a threat to society and they're letting you back out, that goes against all the laws that we made.
Yeah.
You don't have any interest in protecting me, who is a servant of the state of the country. If you just uh, walked over, you know, I'm sorry. If you just literally went over what we just did, if we took the time out to arrest the guy and you're sending him back into the streets and he has no documentation whatsoever, and then you're looking at us when he's out doing other things. I mean, that's the state's issue.
He responded, exactly. You risk your life once. You should not have to encounter that person again.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't believe in
So,
deportation, but like, come on, put more
may I
criminals?
ask you
No.
that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Can y'all hear me? By the way,
Yeah,
y'all
we can hear you.
okay?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I just want to add to that. Motherfuckers that don't respect a country that they move into, like if they come here, I don't give a fuck from Mexico, from wherever the fuck. If they're not American, and then they don't even have papers, and they don't respect, they shouldn't be here. Like they shouldn't fucking be here. I'm fucking well, I'm a resident. I'm not really a wetback, but I consider myself a wetback. But I have papers. But I when I have it coming. When I fuck up, like I have it coming. I had a cousin. I have a cousin. He got his papers by a fucking miracle. He was like hardcore from over there, and he the first thing he did. This is the first thing he did. He started because on my dad's side they used to be with the cartels until my uncle passed away. But he started cars full of drugs and shit like that. He got busted. When he called me, I could have gotten him a lawyer, and I didn't. I didn't because like I told him, I I don't know. It's just a matter of principle. If I go in your home, I'm gonna respect it. If I don't, then I mean, you know what I mean? Like if it was my home, I kick people out. So
Absolutely,
they shouldn't
absolutely.
be
Yeah, I
here.
think
I don't give a
what
fuck.
the problem is they got too many different things going on. And hey Morena, and like I said, studying to be an officer, I'm starting to understand like the state and the, we have two different things going. So like I said, if I'm arresting someone who's undocumented, and for those out there, undocumented doesn't only mean Latino. It means people who come here illegally. Period. And they're doing some stupid shit, like the guys from Afghanistan that came here, that came on the flight, and then like I think they abused the child or whatever. They automatically should be sent back. There's no way you should stay here. You shouldn't even take space up in the prison because you don't belong here. And that's
Yeah,
common sense. And I don't
Amen.
understand why
Amen.
we're keeping people here who don't belong here, taking up space.
yeah, yeah.
Whether
If
it's
we're
in the
gonna
prison
have,
or whether it's out in society, you're taking up space. You don't belong here. You
Especially
didn't
with
you didn't go
this
through the
economy,
proper channel.
bro.
yeah, and not only that, like if you're coming here and it's not to work and better your life, what are you here for?
And the
I
thing
don't
with
get it.
sanctuary cities, look, I understand the reason for sanctuary city. I think there should be a law that says, look, if you're undocumented, you have 3 years in a sanctuary city to become documented. Three. Three, I'll even be generous and give you 5. If you're not documented by 5 years, you need to go back.
Yeah, if you
You
don't
should not
have
be
at
able to
least,
stay in a sanctuary city for unlimited time. You get 5 years, and I understand the process is long, which is why we need people to help out with that process so we can make it quicker
Yo,
for those who want to be documented to be documented. But if you're not doing anything to become documented, and I'm wasting my tax dollars on you, you need to be sent back. I don't care if you black, white, Asian. I don't give a.
yo,
You need
are you
because you're
saying
not paying. I'm
that?
paying
Are
wasting
you
my
saying that?
taxes on you.
Are you saying
come again?
Huh?
sanctuary? They don't have papers. They're not considered. I thought they were
They're not
considered
considered, if
like
they're not considered
legal.
a dreamer,
They're not.
or if they're not considered, like, for if you just crossed the border or came from Russia or came from Japan or Korea or whatnot, or Syria or Yemen or whatnot, and you're just coming into this country legally and staying here and your
Just
visa
Mexico.
expire and
Let's just use
whatnot.
Mexico because that's where people come from.
No, people come from all places. We even have Russians in ICE detention
No,
centers.
no, I know, but just right now, you know what I mean? I mean, like right now, I'm saying that's where they're coming from. So
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, just so it could make
absolutely.
more sense, at least, you
If,
know,
for example, you come from
that's where they're coming
Mexico,
from. Like, right, that's our problem. Right?
yeah, for example, if you come from Mexico and you're not coming here, because we know Mexicans for the most part come here just for work, and you're coming here just to do crime, yeah, just go and get deported. You
Yeah,
know,
because I feel like for the most
it's
part, I'm a balanced
Yeah, but
person
I
with
thought
it.
they were legal. I thought people that are granted sanctuary are legal. Like I thought they were
No,
became like Americans when they're granted. Like
no
I don't understand.
sanctuary, no. But no, because sanctuary what basically means that you're not going to be, you're not at risk of being deported just by being on the street. Nobody can ask you for your papers or nothing. And also, if you, for example, if you're being persecuted by law enforcement, you can go into a church or someone's home and nobody, no questions asked. That's basically sanctuary.
yeah, which is why I said they need a limit. And
Oh
people might
man, that
think
makes
that's
sense.
harsh, but I think that's the most balanced way. What you need to do is you need to set it up like, look, you get a limit of 5 years, and what we're gonna do is put extra people on the document, side to help quicken the process. Because I know, we say 5 years, but sometimes people take forever to get to your paperwork. So what we're gonna do is have people be, more people on that side. So if you are putting in the work to be documented, it will be seen, you will be acknowledged, and then things will run smoothly. If you're not doing anything, if we don't see that you're doing anything in paperwork or anything else, I'm wasting tax dollars money to house you. I'm wasting tax dollars money to keep you here. And it's no offense to you as a person, but you got to go back because I gave you 5 years to do what you needed to do, and you refused to do it. So if you refuse to do the work here, you need to go back home and find out what you need to do.
Absolutely. But guys, you guys know I like to keep it short
And
and
so how
sweet.
is it now? What are they doing now?
What do you mean with the sanctuary
They just
cities?
basically letting them stay there.
Yeah, they're basically at least here in California they can stay in certain places. You know.
That's dumb, man. That's wow.
Now, guys, I'm gonna start wrapping up. So I'm gonna start with you, Kilo. Final thoughts on today's topic: duty calls. Do you think that Latinos and the majority, because we're seeing a lot of this police brutality in this culture, way too much. We want it to be gone. What do you think about Latinos joining the force and Black Americans joining the force more in order to change the culture of police brutality?
Um,
Kilo,
I
what do you
think
think?
that's not. I don't think. I don't. Can you hear me? I don't
Yeah,
think. I don't think that's gonna make any difference because for what this my experience, Mexican cops, Mexican cops here in El Paso, they're worse than white, black, than any other cop. Blacks are actually the nicest cops that I've met, and that's the truth. I may like get in fights with y'all, but the truth is they are the nicest ones that I've met. But the Mexican cops are very arrogant, very fucked up. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
I
you
understand.
know that's yeah. And I'm gonna take off, but it's a good show. I was talking shit when I came in, but yo, yeah,
Yeah,
it's good to talk to you, even though we argue. But
I'll
Yeah,
clear you out. I just don't, I don't dislike you guys. I'll make it so you can, be in the chat again. I just get irritated when people bring stuff from other streams because I really don't want to play around anymore. I really don't want to listen to these joking streams because we joke all the time. So, I'll take it off
yeah, no,
after this.
but
I
thank
didn't
you,
even know it
Kilo.
was on, bro. I was talking to myself then. Y'all take it easy, all right? Man, I was
Okay,
talking to
take
All right.
myself,
care.
dog. All right,
Thank you
bye
for
bye.
tuning in and joining. Melanated Night, final thoughts on today's topic.
Okay. I mean, like I said before, I think we do need to join it. It makes no sense. We got all these able-bodied people, and we're in like fast food and stuff, complaining about how we can't afford it. It's an open, unless you're in a state where you need a college education to join the force, just join it. Like I want to join it because I want to change things, Now, me by myself, it's hard to do it. But I want to go in there with my standards, with my rules, because yeah, I'm not a perfect person, but I also want, like I said, I want to serve the people. That's the only way to change my community. I got tired of talking about it. And not to mention that, at some point, I told you guys trying to be a boxer. I had to realize I'm getting old, and you have to grow up. I had to grow up and be like, you know what? What's a better way I can sustain myself, but also in some cases, what's a better way you can sustain the community at the same time? And I found a perfect balance. So for those out there who are just sitting on your hands, it's the police department or it's the fire department. Like, let's flood them. Let's see more of our faces there, and then we can start changing the code of conduct. We can start being actual servants to the people instead of just being renegades.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Thank you, Melanated Knight, for your contribution. I'm going to put you backstage. Don't go anywhere. Jose, final thoughts on today's topic.
Well, as always, it's always great topics. Thank you for allowing me to be on the stream. The fact of the matter is, it's so easy to sit behind a computer and complain, complain, complain. Okay. It's another thing when you do something to try to change the situation. If you have problems with the police, become part of the police, whether it be as a uniform employee or a civilian employee. Uh, I appreciate you letting me be on the panel. I just want to let people know that this coming Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and 7:30 Central Standard Time, I will go on with the topic, how to deal with toxic people. We all have to deal with it in our respective spheres. So we're going to discuss what we can do to minimize our contact with the toxic people. And the fact of the matter is this: it is better to light a candle than to curse the darkness. And of course, I'm going to close the same way I always close. People, please be careful out there, because we're still dealing with COVID-19, which has killed over 750,000 people in this country so far. And we must deal with another illness, which is the illness caused by the mentally and intellectually challenged, known as the mix. Because if we get too close to them, we'll be infected by their stupidity and mass insanity, and our brain cells will begin to die.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jose. I'm going to put you backstage. It's always a pleasure. Guys, for all the people that are coming in, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so. I know some of you guys catch me on the end of the stream, but trust me, this is a great stream. So rewind it all the way back and enjoy it. If you're here on the replay, welcome. Thank you so much for listening to this topic. And to be honest with you, my closing statement on this is, you can have your opinions about the police force, and I'm granted, the way policing is today is not the best we can get or we can strive for, but we must respond to the call of duty, because, and I know that no pun intended or pun intended, because it's time for us to be the change we want to see. Nothing has ever been changed by people from the outside looking in. You have to be able to get into spaces that actually change from within. And it happens with our bodies, it happens with enterprises, it happens with corporations, it happens with the government, it can happen with the police. It's time for us to stop sitting on our asses and complain. Like I stated before, if you're not joining it, at least for the sense of duty, come on, at least join it for the fact that you can give yourself a better life. And there are opportunities out there, which is something that you guys know I focus on majorly. And like I said, we have way too many slow taps wasting their lives on stupidity. And if you're going to be wasting your life in stupidity, at least put it to good use. Do something, you know. Don't hide behind fear and cowardice so that you can just complain and complain and complain. There's more solutions to one problem. It's not just defund the police. We can actually join the police and become that change. I see that we have Sundown Morena, Terrell, and Pamela here. Welcome, guys. Please hit that like button. And also, so that you don't have this issue again, when you subscribe to my channel, press notifications, the bell for notifications, set it to all so that every time I go live, it lets you know, even with 30 minutes of advance. So, guys, that has been all for today. Like I said, I'm going to be focusing this season specifically on the slow taps. And like I said before, the reason why a lot of people are confused about the mannequins team, those are the blank spaces that slow taps will not strive to occupy, and they are empty and will remain empty once Gen X workers and uh, baby boomers retire. We're going to be left with a lot of influencers and a lot of people that have the need to feel special. And that's why they're here on social media talking about stupid topics that actually don't contribute anything to society. So, guys, I hope you have learned something today. I'm not trying to push nobody to do nothing that they don't want to do, but I wish that at least this can give you enough information and motivation to actually do something, whether even if it's not in the force. Become the change you want to see everywhere you go. You don't like the way something is, get into it and change it yourself. Now, guys, I want to thank you very much for tuning in. I want to remind everybody to follow me on Instagram, denise.gonzalez.villegas1, so that you can keep up with me and everything that's happening in Latin America and the Latin diaspora. Also, I want to remind you guys that tomorrow I'm going to have another stream. Is going to air at 3:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and it will be what? Well, not tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow, 3:30, and it will be 6:30 p.m. on Eastern Time. So make sure that you tune in. It's going to be called Puerto Rico for Dummies. A lot of people get confused often about what Puerto Ricans are, being Latinos, and at the same time they're semi-gringos and whatnot. If you don't understand the dilemma that hides behind what Puerto Ricans are, how our country functions or our island functions, then tune in tomorrow. I'm gonna answer all the questions that I can answer so that people can have this out of the way. They can understand our relationship with the United States and whatnot. Now, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. It has been a pleasure. Thank you for everybody that was on the chat. It was a nice conversation. I hope to see you guys tomorrow. And like I said, thank you for allowing me in your homes and your devices. Now, the rest of the day, you guys know, los fines de semana son para limpiar la casa. I hope that if you missed this, at least play while you're mopping your floors, vacuuming your carpets, and doing dishes and cooking dinner. Thank you, guys. I see you guys on the next one. It has been a pleasure. This is another episode of Latin Explaining with Denise Gonzalez, all about business and finances. Peace.